your choice is all up to you. Too many things, don't know what to do. Speak your mind and you won't get judged. If it kicks off, you won't hold no grudges. What? Come online, come online. CSI, CSI. Come online, come online. CSI, CSI. Yeah, your choice is all up to you. Too many things, don't know what.
Welcome to CSI. My name is Lucia. Today we'll have Vusi Thabethe. He's from South Africa Soweto, and he's now living in Ireland. He's a founder of Shining Light Galway. And we're going to talk about not only his experience while he was living in Soweto, but we're also going to find out the experience of people living in direct provision centers. Vusi, welcome.
Thank you, Lucia.
Okay, how are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad at all. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, so who is Vusi?
Vusi, that's a good question. I guess Vusi is a guy that grew up, I was born in South Africa, so I grew up in the dusty streets of Soweto. It wasn't easy at all. It was probably one of the most difficult things that you can think of. Now, during that time, it was, how can I put it, a period in South Africa called apartheid. When I was born, but grew up, and we've seen democracy starting in South Africa, and yeah, so on and so forth.
Okay, thank you. So that must have been hard. So tell us, what was living like as a child? What was the experience that you had in Soweto?
I'd say a lot of confusion, a lot of confusion. I grew up with my mom and my dad, but my parents were always away because they had to work. But not only did they have to work, they had to work very far away from where we are. So yeah, what usually happens is your grandmother will, yourself.
Step in.
Yeah, they'll step in and look after you. But I'd say the first few years, I only saw my parents during the weekends. But that was normal for us, we didn't see any difference in that, So, but obviously thinking about it now, it's kind of,
detachment.
Yes, you kind of start experiencing that, and you kind of, yeah.
Okay, so did you speak English? I know South Africa, but did you speak English, or were you Zulu that you spoke while you were a child?
No, we didn't speak English at all. The only time perhaps we saw a bit of English was on TV, but thinking back, I don't think we actually understood. Say when you're watching TV, so you can kind of make up on what's going on. You wouldn't really get the communication, you wouldn't really know how they got to this place, but up until about the age of 8, that's when I started learning English. But before then, it would have been Zulu, would have been a few more languages. We have a few languages in South Africa, 11. So playing with other kids, you'll pick up the language and so on and so forth. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what was the shock culture like? When you went to English-speaking, schools.
Oh, believe it or not, I still remember. It was strange. It was scary. It was a lot of pressure. I remember feeling I shouldn't be here. I remember feeling I shouldn't be here at all. I should be going home where I can speak to people that understand me. So I didn't start from the first grade. I started in, I think it was the second grade. So most kids would have been updated and up to date. So yeah, I had to go through the whole motion and try and teach myself a few things to see if I can catch up with others.
Okay.
So it wasn't easy at all. It was very difficult. Yeah.
And what were the teachers? Were they helpful, or did you feel that as you said, that you need to teach yourself? Did you feel that you had to actually, make it up yourself, or you had support from the teachers?
The first year, the teacher was horrible.
Wow.
She was absolutely horrible. I still remember her name, but and then the following year, it got a lot better because I had a teacher that was more understanding and more slower, and
supportive.
More supportive.
Into your level.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wasn't just rushed into that environment. I could, grow into it slowly.
Okay.
So the second year was great, but the first year was terrible.
Okay. The teachers, were they white teachers, like, Caucasian,
Yeah.
or were they, black teachers?
Teachers, the school I went to was a Asian school, so there would have been a mixture of Indian teachers, I'd say Pakistani teachers, just a whole diverse kind of school. But there weren't any black teachers, so that was a bit of a shell shock for me, culture shock.
Yeah.
Just the different foods, just the persona, just the movement was totally foreign to me. But as a child, you don't really focus on those sort of things. I mean, it's almost like you have a job, and your job is to be a good kid, a good student, and then perhaps do very well. So, look, it was good, but it was difficult.
Okay, okay. So take us a one day on Vusi's life as a child, going to school.
Right.
Living grandmother, you know?
Yes.
And then, you know, yeah, going
Yes,
to school.
so I'd say we would have gotten up around 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready. And that would be waking up, get ready by yourself. At least the clothes would have been ready for us, so you can still put on your clothes and get ready. And we knew exactly what to do, brush your teeth, wash your face and everything, because we would have taken a bath the day before. So, and then we'll have some white bread, because white bread tasted a little bit better.
Okay.
White bread and butter. And then a bit of cartoons on TV, and perhaps some news, maybe audio news in passing. It wouldn't be something we'll be focusing on, but the cartoons are always there. And then it'll be transportation that will come collect you from your house. You never know what time it arrives. You don't know if they're rushing.
Wow.
So there's a lot of pressure straight away early in the morning. So we'd have to rush in, get the transport, and the transport would be driving around, collecting other kids.
More children.
Yeah, so there'll be loads of us in one of these mini buses. You know, if you have that image of a mini bus in Africa, with a bunch of kids in there, that's exactly how it was. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. So, and you'll get maybe 5 minutes before school starts. So there's a lot of pressure, because you're thinking, are you going to be late? And you know yourself, once you get late, then you're in trouble.
There's going to be punishments, is it?
You can't tell your mother, you know. So as a child, it's a bit too much to take on. But look, I don't think I would have changed for the world, like, you know. So,
yeah. Before we transition, looking back, do you see a happy, Vusi, or, regrets?
Well, looking back, as young as I was, I feel proud, because I was the firstborn, so I had to look after my younger brother as well at school. And he was very hyperactive as well, so I had to look out for him. And if he was being bullied, I had to step in for him, you know. So there was a lot of like connection between my brother because of that, you know. So yeah.
That's where it is. Okay, so now Vusi, you are in Ireland, and you are in Galway. So you found Shining Light Galway. Tell us, where did that idea came from?
I don't know, actually. Like I listen, like, look, I listen to the radio and I read the paper a lot, but it was basically coming towards the lockdown. I think I was getting to the age where I started thinking about perhaps doing something that I would be able to enjoy, something like a business, you know, where I can set up my own team and then create some sort of organization or corporate, anything.
Identity research kind of thing.
Exactly, yes. I always saw myself, oh, maybe I would have listened to somebody telling me, look, the best thing to do is to be your own boss, you know. So I still had that at the back of my mind. So yeah, I thought about setting up a business and perhaps going through Instagram, you know. You have influencers there, you know, that's the modern way of doing business, e-commerce.
Yeah.
But then it got to the point where I thought, okay, once you have accomplished this, then what else do you do, you know? Do you set up another business or what? But I didn't think it would be that much entertaining for myself or challenging, sorry, if I can use that word. So I thought I wanted something that's gonna mean something to me. Not only that, that would mean something for so many people. Hence why I thought about, how it would be possible to set up a non-profit or charity.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's kind of the opposite, because you know, when we think about setting up a business, it's something that we have benefits, financial benefits for ourselves, and yet Shining Light is a non-profit organization. So it's literally looking after the people that you are helping.
Absolutely.
So what's your role as in Shining Light?
My role, I can probably say I'm a CEO right now, and the reason I say that is because I want to dip in every single project that we set up.
Okay.
So I want to know what's going on. I want to see if I can put in a bit of knowledge or some experience, and so I kind of ended up doing that by default.
Okay. So what is the vision? What's the main vision of Shining Light?
The main vision really is to, I can probably say how we started off was basically just to make a difference. What we noticed as we started doing things was that there was such a big gap in support especially for migrants, Africans, and vulnerable people really in our society. What you'll find is you'll get a lot of homeless services, it's very good. You get so many different organizations, but we couldn't identify one really, an African organization or a migrant organization set up by migrants. Hence why now we kind of started directing our services towards the vulnerable people of direct provision.
Direct provision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So when people hear about direct provision, they immediately assume government look after them. So what do you mean supporting people in direct provision?
Well, it's until you actually go on the ground and speak to these people in direct provision, or perhaps visit one or a few other direct provision centers, then you may perhaps possibly get a different idea on exactly how the people in there live. Direct provision isn't a very easy place to live in. The adults get €36 per week. I can only think of a couple of things I can do with €36. As you know, it's not nice. Some people live with 2 or 3 others in the same room. I mean, there's no time for any privacy there. There's no time for peace of mind.
Okay.
There's no time really to plan your day without thinking about either somebody walking in, or somebody might come in and answer their phone, or somebody might want to change, or anything like that, Okay. There's no, peace of mind knowing that you're in a nice, safe area by yourself, and you can start planning your life if you wanted to do that. So it's not a very easy place. Now, some people may say they get fed 3 times, okay, which is fair enough. That's brilliant, that's good. However, if you don't enjoy the sort of food, or if that sort of food is so foreign to you, you're probably not going to eat it.
Okay, so the food that they provide for the people in direct provision, it is not even to the taste that they would be used to,
Yeah, I mean, look at it this way. If some people move to Africa and the sort of food we eat there, I don't think a lot of people will eat that food. And it's basically they've been put in a position where they have to indulge, and there's no choice in what to indulge in. And that makes them very anxious. It makes them very sad, because they have to kind of force themselves to eat that food in order to live. So they don't have to worry about the taste buds or if that food is good for them. You know, they just have to indulge in it. So yeah, that's a big issue.
Okay, so when you hear people saying, well, they should accept it, at least they're getting food, they have shelter, why are they complaining about? How do you feel about those comments?
Well, look, again, it boils down to the sort of food you eat, you know. I mean, it's hard to say adapt to that sort of food if you are 30 years old and the only food you know is totally different to the sort of food
that they're providing.
You know. It's a good gesture, yes. I agree with that, but it's not the same. It's absolutely not the same.
What about families in direct provision?
Right.
You know, a mother with 2 kids, a single mother with 3 kids. How are they accommodating there? Are they giving, 2 bedrooms? Because if you go and ask for a council house in Ireland, they'll be accommodating you according to the age of the children, equals to number of rooms. So in direct provision, does that equal that reality?
No, I can tell you one of the direct provision centers that hosts families down in Salt Hill in Galway, I can tell you there's no option. There's 1 room, 1 small kitchen area, and 1 bathroom. Now you could have 2 kids, you could have 3 kids, that's what you get.
Wow.
Yeah. So if, say you're a parent and you've got 2 other kids and you have a toddler in there, nobody's going to sleep at night. Those kids are not going to rest.
Everybody will wake up at the same time.
Everybody will wake up at the same time. The baby needs to be fed, so the lights have to be switched on, right? So nobody's sleeping. Now those same 2 kids have to wake up the next morning and go to school.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how that works out for the kids, but I don't think it's very positive, because all I can think of is it's either they're not going to be themselves at school, or they feel very tired and very sleepy, and that affects their education.
Yeah, and the mental health, really, because when we're talking about not having your own privacy, we're talking about not having a time to just be yourself in your own corner. That is definitely affecting the mental health of anybody, not only the children.
Absolutely, and you know yourself, like kids can be very cruel in school, and I'd say other kids would have known where they come from as well.
Okay.
Like, I don't have the proof of that. I'm just,
from hearing,
using my imagination and, from hearing. So they wouldn't complain much because they are so, have been put in a situation where their rights to complaint have been taken away.
From them.
Right. So a lot of human rights have been taken away from them. Now, this issue has been going on for far too long.
Okay.
Everybody knows the situation that's happening in direct provision. We've been on the news, we stood up before, we've spoken so many times about this situation. And it's so strange to know that, as Irish, we want the whole world to see us as happy people, as fun people. We want people to come in and enjoy our pubs, enjoy our churches, enjoy our grounds and everything. But at the same time, these people in direct provision,
they're being excluded of that.
Have been excluded and no heard of. Nobody's speaking on their behalf. They're suffering, and they're suffering in silence.
Wow. Okay, so Shining Light. How is Shining Light working towards improving their quality, or as you said, the support that they're giving to them?
So I guess like Shining Light, we, one of our main priorities really is basically try not to change everything, because that's very difficult to happen. What we do is we do our bit, we will be delivering food, groceries to them, and we'll be, getting some donations from the wider community, putting everything together and then dropping it off to the guys. And, the guys are usually a bit, excited to see us. We have a group message a group message for Shining Light with all the other people living in direct provision, so they know exactly when we're coming. So it could happen tomorrow, it could happen today. We just drop a text message, and whoever's around, they'll be able to take some bids. And then again, when we do that, so we'll be doing 2 or 3 times a week. Okay, we'll be doing that, and then, you know, like I said, we drop off the food, toys, and that's all we can do. We've tried to speak to some of the residents in there to see if they can give us some pictures of the situation inside, because we can't go in there.
Okay.
The only thing we can do, you know yourself, we are able to take pictures outside. You saw some of the living conditions from outside.
Yes, yeah, true.
You know, some of the health and safety issues highlighted
In the
outside.
buildings, yes. Yeah.
Now, if you've seen that outside, imagine what's going on inside. You know, so somebody needs to voice the concern. Somebody needs to represent these people. You know, and help needs to come. You know, we need some intervention. You know, we need our politicians, like, you know, to come to us.
Be on board.
To be on board.
Highlight the issues more.
Highlight the issues. You know, there's no point blaming politicians when they don't know about the situation. You know,
True.
so it's our job to reach out and be the bridge between those guys and the people on top.
Okay, so when you are bringing food to them, is it something that they specifically ask for, or is it just donations as well as any clothing or toys?
Before, they didn't ask anything because they were so afraid. They've forgotten how to actually say to people, look, would it be possible for you to bring me a hairdryer? You know what I mean? So at first it was a bit awkward, but now since we've a bit friendlier to the guys, and we've sorted out our own personalities, so I'll know if I go speak to somebody there, what sort of personality they have. Are they energetic? So I'll adapt to their personality. If I meet somebody who's a bit more serious, then, you know, I'll adapt to that, so I'll be more serious.
Camouflaging.
Yeah, you kind of blend in, you know. Everybody has a different personality. But don't forget, they have a lot to think of, you know, and, you know, they're a bit stressed out, so you have to try and accommodate them as much as you can and be welcoming and be friendly as much as you can. But yeah, on the question of do they ask for things, recently, yes. And recently we've
They've been more specific into what their needs.
Exactly, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So, luckily enough in Galway, you know, the wider population has been so good to us, you know. Anything good, the population will come out and they will try their best to help. So, yeah. Fantastic.
And in terms of shining light to do something for mental health, like to help the people, you know, people that are living in direct provision. What does shining light?
At the moment, yes, that's a big issue. That's one of my top priorities. But as you know yourself, we have an issue in Ireland for mental health support. So it's a bit difficult now to try and get specific support for the people living in there. But like I said, it is one of my top priorities. Now also, you have to bear in mind that Shining Light isn't generating any revenue at all. We've been working for the past year and a half on our own pockets, you know, with the picking up of food, delivering things, donations, you know, and asking the wider population to help out, you know. So we've been doing every single thing without any revenue at all. So because of that, it's a bit difficult now to try and perhaps get in contact with the agency or an organization that deals with mental health to see if we can help the guys.
Okay, Shining Light is not able to get a professional help, but what are they doing just to help the wider community, let's say the weekends?
Right. I mean, at the weekend, yes, you're right. I see where you're going with this. So at the weekends, we actually organize some soccer games, and we've been doing that now for over a year. And obviously during the lockdown, we couldn't play. But yeah, we've been organizing the soccer matches. So on Saturdays, 5:30 in the evenings, a few of us will play a bit of soccer, soccer game, and there'll be a lot of shouting, some blowing off steam, in a nice safety environment. So there's no fighting, but there's a lot of shouting.
Okay. Does the wider community get involved in the matches?
Absolutely, yes. I recently started talking to some of my other friends that I play soccer with on Thursdays, and they've been happy to join in. They're on the group message chat as well. They're making comments, and they're joining in with the banter. Sometimes when the soccer season starts, then we make a lot of jokes, some banter, find out who supports which team, and so we do that as well. That's also one of the things which we decided to do when we couldn't play soccer and the lockdown was in place. Yes, exactly. So we created we basically changed our WhatsApp name from the soccer 5:30 to lockdown soccer banter. So basically the guys, just to keep them engaged and keep them a bit more, active a little bit, in a very small way, obviously. But yes, we started just making jokes about giving out about one team and who lost the game the last day, who missed.
The interaction continues.
The interaction continues, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so any special guests that you might had, while playing the soccer?
We did actually, yes. We had a very, very special group of people, and it was basically our local Ankara Shokana. They basically came and they asked us for a game, which was brilliant. So the first thing the guys thought was, we're playing the cards. Yeah, we're playing the cards, man, we're gonna go. So I let them obviously say those things, and then after a while I just had to explain to them, look, this game isn't the Gaidi versus the migrants, or the migrants versus the Gaidi. So the whole point was to mix, okay, and play with each other. Inclusion, yes. But I did also, emphasize that, look, right here, it's all fun, it's all games, it's for you guys who know each other. But as soon as we leave, look, if you're gonna be out there in the city center drinking and causing trouble, So
fair enough. What about for mothers or children? Is anything happening for them?
For mothers and children, at the moment, also it's a bit difficult. But we are really, we've set up a women's group at the moment. Don't ask me what happens there, because I'm not in the women's group.
Okay.
But the woman and the woman involved in the women's group is they are basically at the moment trying to set up a summer camp with the kids. So it would be a one-day event where they can take the kids and have some activities, take them away from that area. Just to show them around and make them feel welcome and make them, ease their minds, show them something different. Yes. So that's what they're planning to do, and I'm pretty sure it will happen very soon, because in our group, if you like to action things, you like to, there's no, you don't like to sit on something for a very long time.
Fair enough. By speaking to some of the women in the group, I know that they do dancing. Is that on a weekly basis as well,
yes,
or is it just occasionally?
Yes, that's one of the events we actually do on Saturdays. So on Saturdays, we have a lady called Dara, and she teaches Zumba classes. And Dara and her partner, Carlos, he plays drums, so he plays some Brazilian Afro drums, which is pretty cool. So they organize the event, and it happens at 12:30 in the Clada as well. So a few people will come by and learn how to. Yeah, it's very nice actually, But when you're looking from outside, you think it's very tiring, because you put in so much energy. But it's actually great fun. 1 hour isn't enough, and but we don't want to try and get a few injuries out there. But
Yes, yeah, I suppose,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Vusi. It is definitely, highlighting the importance of support for people in direct provision, especially, although the, majority society have the knowledge that the government is doing something for them, but it's minimal and sometimes is not sufficient. So I just really would like to thank you for the work that Shining Light is doing. Not only is supporting them in the needs as much as you can, but is also giving some kind of interactions for their mental health and some kind of distraction. So this has been CSI talking with Vusi Thabethe in terms of knowing a little bit more about people in direct provision in Ireland, especially in Galway. So I'm going to say, Vusi, is there anything that I would like to say to people about it specific that we haven't covered? Or maybe how can people get in touch with yourself or Shining Light?
Absolutely. Well, something to say or ask. Basically, I would like to say, it's been an absolute pleasure to work with people in Galway. They've been fully supportive. Our local Garda station has been fully supportive. Our volunteers have been great. However, this sort of work isn't simple, and we need more support. Shining Light isn't mine. Shining Light isn't ours. Shining Light is for the wider community. It's for everybody. If you like the sort of work we're doing or are interested in getting in contact with us, feel free to either go into our website, that's shininglightgalway.org. If you want to donate, you can. There'll be a donate button on there. Otherwise, you can catch us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Yes, I hope I got everything. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. CSI would definitely try to, to follow through your walk, your adventure. And in these 3 days, we wish you luck, in this project, and hopefully the wider community, will be more aware of the conditions and the support that people in direct provision they need, not only in Galway but around the country. Thank you so much, Vusi.
Thank you very much.
This was Lucia from CSI. Please get in touch with us. If anybody were touched by this story, that Vusi was here and would like to know more about it, you can get in touch by the social media that he has already mentioned or through CSI. If you have any story that you feel that is impactable and anything that you think that you are doing, not only empowering others, but you would like to, people to be aware of what you're doing, please get in touch with csi.COMMONSOCIETYISSUES.com. Thank you very much. This was Lucia Barakas.
Hi, I'm Helen.
Hey, I'm Candy.
Hi, I'm Michael.
Hi, I'm Ivy.
And this is Lucia.
Thank you for watching CSI.
Make sure to subscribe to
CSI Common Society Issues.
And remember to hit that notification bell.
Thank you.